20 minutes past the hour. Welcome back. We're streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. An urgent moment at this time. Joining us now, as always, on these early Tuesday mornings. He's in the airport, as usual. Freedom fighting. Y'all watch Luke Cage and the Defenders and all that. This is a real-life superhero and freedom fighter. The president and CEO of the oldest and the boldest and most discussed civil rights organization in history, the NAACP. Derrick Johnson is with us. Hey, man, how are you, my brother? Under the circumstances.
Morning, Mark. How you doing?
I'm good. Under the you not? Are you headed to San Antonio this early?
No. I'm about to run into D.C. and then I head to San Antonio.
Okay. Were you at the Supreme Court last night?
I was not.
Okay.
I was not. Unfortunately, the president made an announcement of an individual who we opposed when he was nominated for the D.C. Circuit Court, and we oppose in this instance as well.
Yeah.
We are in a crisis moment in terms of the civil rights community and in our advancements, but this is a fight we can win because anytime we fight, we do win.
So talk to us about that in terms of your awareness and knowledge and expertise. Are you aware of a procedural play that the Senate Democrats can make to stop this? I just want to be practical for a moment in terms of that. I don't know, but are you aware of one?
Practically speaking, because McConnell changed the rules, it only requires a simple majority of the members of the Senate to confirm any nominee. That's simple 51%. Republicans currently have enough senators who can make up that 51%. However, the procedure was still in place when the Affordable Care Act was put into play. Democrats did not have the majority, and fortunately, out of some strong messaging and people understanding the impact of providing health care to all we were able to pass that bill. This is a crisis moment, and hopefully we have enough senators across the aisle who understand that this president, who we may find to be illegitimate, should not have the privilege of nominating and have an individual confirmed for the Supreme Court of the United States.
Honestly, Derrick, just in the conversations I've even had in the past 24 hours, and I'm not just talking about African Americans, I really get the impression that many voters don't really understand the Supreme Court, its significance, its power, and their role in influencing it when they vote. And if you could speak to that a little bit, because the fact of the matter is, when NAACP won Brown v. Board, I mean, that was only after years of struggle. But a court like the one Trump is appointing can literally reverse everything we fought for.
Absolutely. So the Supreme Court is a long game. The presidency is the short game.
Mm-hmm.
The legislature is intermediary. Presidents only serve a maximum of 8 years, and many only 4 years. The Supreme Court is a lifetime appointment. So what you find in the case of Brown, what you can find in this situation, that once you have the right lineup of individuals who are sitting on the court, their decision would impact how we function as a nation for 20, 30, 40, and sometimes 50-plus years.
Mm-hmm.
In the case of Brown, we're looking at 60-plus years of well-established law.
Yeah.
And so what's taking place now is we have an individual in the White House who's egomaniac, operating as a demagogue, and individuals have been complicit in his ignorance, while at the same time they've been complicit because they're playing the long game. They want this issue here. The federal bench, specifically the majority on the Supreme Court. So where many voters don't understand, we must be ever vigilant to completely understand the nature and the role of government. 3 branches, that third branch being the Supreme Court, it is the longest standing body because it is a lifetime appointment.
And this makes what we need to do in November all the more urgent and important, doesn't it?
We are hitting a juncture where very rarely do we have a midterm election that can impact the direction of the country for 50 plus years. Midterm elections actually impact the direction of the country for 2 to 4 years because of the turnover. But in this scenario, we're talking about state legislative seats who are going to be drawing the district lines. We're talking about holding the president accountable, so ensuring that we have the right mix of individuals in the House of Representatives. We're talking about a third of the U.S. senators on the ballot, and we're talking about appointments to federal benches and the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
This is a juncture that presents an opportunity or a crisis for those of us who advocate for equal protection under the law and democracy that works for everyone.
And back to the practicality of it, you mentioned even all of these other federal benches we can't that aren't the Supreme Court. We can't ignore those. For example, we had judges who suspended the travel ban at the federal level. We've had judges holding the administration accountable for family separation. But, he can appoint judges, unlike the ones who are making these positive rulings, and even the ones who are making these positive rulings can be overruled by the Supreme Court at some point. So you're right. The courts are very important.
Yeah, I mean, they're most crucial. When the checks and balances that was put in place for our government have allowed us to stay a steady course. I mean, we go off course, we come back on course, but never have I seen in my lifetime, and never have there been many opportunities where the complete trajectory of how this democracy unfolds, the role of government, have all been at stake at the exact same time.
Derrick Johnson, president of the NAACP. Derrick, you agree with me that Mitch McConnell is pure evil?
It's something beyond evil. Something beyond evil. He's there. But, he's played the long game. He understands that this is chess, not checkers. So he would accept criticism and be humiliated by the president, because for him it was about the court. But this is the same guy who pledged to make the Obama presidency a one-term presidency. He did all he could to throttle any progress from President Obama. So
right.
We should not be surprised with the level of gaming that he's playing right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Please give us a preview of the convention in San Antonio coming up this weekend and all next week.
Well, our convention will be a set of workshops, trainings, and discussions around the very things that we've been talking about on your show.
Mm-hmm.
But more importantly, the convention is a legislative session for the NAACP. It is where we make the decisions of for the policy direction of the association, where our delegates come from across the country, 47 out of 50 states, and we convene. We are a small D democracy organization, which allows for everyone to have a voice in the formation of the policy direction of the association. So that's what the convention is going to do. Now, most importantly, in addition to that, we will be honoring former Mayor Willie Brown
right.
With our Spingard Medal. Mayor Brown has been a stalwart in the political community, particularly for African Americans. You're talking about someone who understands how to play chess. He is someone who played chess for a long time, and for all that he's done, not only in California but nationally, we found it fitting to honor him with the Spingard Medal this year.
Amen. Very, very good. Folks, the NAACP has been fighting for years in the courts. Before the Legal Defense Fund was its own organization, it was a part of the NAACP. We all know the story and the legacy of the great Thurgood Marshall. That's who that is. That's what this is about. If it had not been for these legal struggles and legal victories, we would not have what we have. And just one other point to make. When the Brown decision was made, it was 9-0. And it was important for Chief Justice Warren, ladies and gentlemen, to have that unanimous ruling to end segregation so that there would be no equivocation. 5-4 rulings are not really consensus rulings when it comes to a lot of these issues. And for probably at least the past decade or more, many of the decisions made by the court have been 5-4. I saw Nina Totenberg on television last night too, Derrick, from NPR, the longtime legal correspondent. And she pretty much alluded to or suggested that she wouldn't be surprised if, and this is just moments before he picked Kavanaugh, but she said she wouldn't be surprised if not a single Trump nominee could speak to the importance of Brown. You know, he's had nominees recently that have been before judiciary committees, the Senate Judiciary Committee, and when asked about Brown, they have no opinion or pretend they don't know about it or they get around the issue. So, I mean, the Brown case has almost become a litmus test. I wonder what Kavanaugh is going to say about it.
Well, with Kavanaugh, we have the issue with Brown versus Ford. We have the issue of his position that the president should be immune to impeachment
Right.
and any kind of prosecution. You know, when you go back to Earl Warren, he was not a lawyer. He was former governor of California and appointed by the then president. And because there was a mood in this country that we need to address our civil but equal laws, he was able to get on that court and maneuver and negotiate with members of that court who, prior to that, had supported it. But more importantly, one or two of them were former Klansmen.
Yeah.
And so the Supreme Court is not immune to politics. It is not immune to the current political winds that are taking place. These are not completely impartial individuals. Each one of them, when they put on a black robe, they don't cover their life experiences. They don't cover their biases, and they do not remove any inherent deficits that the individual have. And as a result of that, we must be ever vigilant to fight against this nominee and to ensure that we have a court that's more sympathetic to all Americans and not just a few Americans.
Right, and represents all of America and the way America thinks, feels, and you know, what's already been litigated, settled law should stand. NAACP.org. If those of you in the San Antonio area, you want to be a part of everything that's going on down there, go to NAACP.org. Also, what you can do right now to express your feelings about this court appointment and all the repercussions. One thing we know you can do right now. Be a lot of other things you can do, but one thing for certain you can do, you can count on, is that the polls will be open in November, or we believe that is if Russia doesn't do something. You can take the pledge to vote. Text NAACP to 40649, right, Derrick?
That's correct. NAACP 40649. Please text. And also, when you text, you will get a notification. We also want you to sign the petition dealing with this Supreme Court justice, because we're going to have people calling every member of the U.S. Senate to register your concern. The fight is not over because of someone's been nominated. The fight has just begun, and we need your voices to push. So text the word NAACP to 40649. Take the pledge to vote, but more importantly, take the opportunity to allow us to connect you with your U.S. Senate so you can raise your voice of opposition to what's taking place.
And, folks, you can find out how to do that, get all those details. Text NAACP to 40649. Do that today. Please, ma'am, please, sir. This is a very urgent moment. The president and CEO of the NAACP headed to San Antonio for the NAACP annual national convention, our oldest civil rights organization. Derrick, as always, we thank you, man, okay?
Thank you, brother. Take care.
All right. All right, thank you. We'll see you in San Antonio. I should get there by Sunday.
I'll see you then.
All right, doctor. Take care now. All right. Derrick Johnson with us, folks, our very special guest, as always, on these Tuesday mornings, and we are so appreciative of him and his work and the ongoing work of the NAACP. If you want to do something, one thing you can do is text NAACP to 40649. All right, the NAACP 109th annual convention. You know, and I still am not doing what I always say I'm going to do. I got to do this. You know, and you all remind me next year, because I always say I'm going to do it, and then I don't plan for it, and I have to. But life's so busy and so many other things, you just can't be everywhere. I've really not been able to cover a whole convention. I'll usually do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 or 4 days. The convention, if you look at the dates, and we're still streaming, July 14th. I just want to get this little commercial in here. What happens Saturday and Sunday is the NAACP AXO competition, where the young people show off their academic skills. It is an academic Olympics, AXO. And it is the most inspiring thing you have ever seen. So, one of these years, I've been saying it. This is 109. Next year is the 110th convention. I don't know what city it's in. But we're going to figure out a way to go cover that AXO competition and highlight some of those young people. And so you can see how smart and talented they have in oratorical skills, science. It is an academic math. It is an academic Olympics unlike anything you have ever seen. So we commend the NAACP for doing that. And really, I'm going to tell you something. See, in a lot of these cities, all there is NAACP. I'm going to be honest with you. Ain't nothing else but the NAACP for people to go to for help and, whatever they're dealing with in their lives or their situation. And then for young people to get off the street, get from in front of the game, the computer, and the arcade, and the dance thing. They go.
What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about how, some young people become consumed with that. I'm not talking about you, of course, because you're a grown adult. You can, you can check out if you want. But a lot of these young people and teenagers need another option. They need something else to do that's positive and that stimulates the brain. Can't always play video games. Most of our kids play more video games than even play physical sports anymore, which is a shame. But it's a great competition, the Academic Olympics. And one year we're gonna highlight that probably even more so than the other stuff the adults are doing in the convention. I've been saying that for years and haven't had the chance or just asserted the opportunity to do that. But it's something I really like to do, and I hope all of you would want to participate in. All right, 866-99-SERIOUS, 866-997-4748. Don't forget to text NAACP to 40649. Take the pledge to vote. Also, information on how to contact your senator to tell her or him to oppose Putin-Tang's nominee, no good, Brett Kavanaugh. All right? That's what we're going to do. Your calls, 866-997-4748. We're going to leave our stream. Join us. We're still on the air, though. Join us on the radio 23 minutes before